Hello and welcome to Not Without My Sister, the podcast where I, Rosemary McCabe, talk to my sister, Beatrice McCabe, about a whole load of things. And today we thought we'd talk about something of which I have very little knowledge because I have the appetite of a tiny, tiny baby bird, comfort eating.
Do you know, I was thinking it actually sounds weird when we say Rosemary McCabe, Beatrice McCabe. And then I was like, maybe it doesn't because those actually are both our names. Maybe you could just say Beatrice the next time instead of Beatrice McCabe. Am I overthinking this? Then I was like, maybe we should do a whole episode on keeping your name or not keeping your name.
Oh, yeah, good
Right.
idea. But I actually think if we say Rosemary and Beatrice McCabe, it sounds like we're married.
And wouldn't that be lovely?
Illegal, but a delight. I did actually just pop into your spare room and think myself and Atlas should move back in here. Be so nice, imagine. Be so happy.
I wouldn't be going in there. Dawn just went in there and said there was, maybe I shouldn't go into detail, with little boys in the house, the bathrooms are not always the cleanest. Dawn just said that there was stagnant pee in the toilet there.
Well, I didn't notice that. I just walked in and was like, this room is very airy.
So did I. Well, maybe because he just opened the freezing cold minus
it
20
did feel
degrees
cold.
window. Well, I went in and I was like, this room's lovely. Now that mom and dad are gone, no offense, mom, dad. And then he went in and started retching. But he's very dramatic.
He is very dramatic.
Desperate dramatic. Like he literally started retching like nobody's business.
Sorry, maybe it's all American men. Did I tell you about the day that I came home and I was like, the house smells a bit weird? And Brandon came in and was like, smells like gas. Quick, we need to leave. And I had just ordered Indian. No, he had picked up the Indian, right? So he'd brought it home. And he was like, the house smells like gas. And as he's saying this, I'm unpacking my Indian, putting it into a bowl, delighted, right? Going, oh yeah, it does a bit, I suppose. And he's like, Rosemary, if the house smells like gas, we need to leave. We have a brand new baby. And Atlas is in his swing. I'm like, he's grand. I was like, I don't barely even smell. He's like, it smells really strongly of gas. So I'm still pouring out and getting out my samosa, he's like, Rosemary, we need to leave the house. I'm like, leave the house and go where? He's like, I'm going to call NIPSCO. We need to get in the car. So I brought my bowl of chicken tikka masala into the front seat of the car and ate it.
Absolutely dead right.
Outside. And then NIPSCO arrived. She was like, I do get a weird smell. The gas reader thing wasn't picking up any gas, but it turned out that actually my car was leaking petrol.
But I actually, you know what, probably much more likely than that is that you had done one of your lethal farts.
Excuse me.
Probably much more likely. It was this at the beginning of the relationship.
Excuse me.
You had a baby
this
at
was
this
recent.
point.
I do not fart. I do delicate burps, and that's as gassy as I get.
I don't think so.
Shut up. Anyway, my car was leaking petrol, so that was the smell. It was gas of a different kind.
They do not smell the same. Oh, gas. Oh, that's what he meant. Gas. He meant gas.
No, he actually meant gas.
No, that's a prime example of cultural miscommunication.
No.
He was basically like in Ireland.
He wasn't
said,
saying petrol.
It's stinking of petrol in here.
He wasn't talking. He confused the smells.
No,
he wouldn't have called NIPSCO if he thought it was petrol.
It could have actually been like, it smells like gas in here. And you've been like, it's hilarious. It's really funny in here. Somebody's making jokes. See, so many ways to misunderstand that.
Anyway, my point is they're very dramatic and very sensitive noses in America.
Well, that's actually as if sensitive nose is my arse. But anyway, that's a perfect example now of the comfort food. So while you were freezing, shivering, waiting for the gas woman, as it turned out, to come out and detect the pungent odor of whatever.
I had the heated seats on.
Oh yeah, but my point is you brought the food, the comfort food into the car to comfort you while you were displaced from your home.
Yes. And actually this week, I just ordered Indian last night. I mean, I order probably at least once a week, but I ordered it last night to comfort me because I'd had some very bad meals. Chipotle had totally fucked up my order one day. They gave me chicken instead of barbacoa. They gave me no beans. And when I complained, right, and they said...
Probably Brandon put that note in. No beans, please. We've had problems.
Shut up. When I went to complain on the DoorDash app and I was like, these ingredients were wrong, right? The audacity, bitch, they gave me a $4. They just gave me a credit for the ingredients. I was like, you ruined my whole meal.
I'm literally surprised. I mean, at this point, they've probably figured out they cannot afford to constantly be reimbursing you.
No, they cannot afford to piss me off, Beatrice. I actually totted up my weekly spend yesterday and I was like, if I stopped buying food, my weekly spend would have been $80 or something.
Okay, but if you stopped buying food, sure you'd be starving.
No, as in we still do our supermarket shop. What I mean is if I stop buying takeaway food.
But I find I look in the fridge and I go, oh, like actually I was thinking today, I need to cook in the afternoon at the weekend because if I cook in the evening, I tend to only cook for myself because like by the time 6 o'clock comes, the boys don't have the patience to wait for
Oh yeah,
another
for you
hour.
to make
you know,
something. Yeah.
so if I don't cook in the afternoon, something nice and like also by 6 o'clock, I'm so exhausted. Like what time is it now? 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and I am drained from 9:38 a.m. this morning. I actually was like, when's this day over? I got up at 7:07 with the kids
On a Saturday.
and I was like, kids, let's let your dad have a lie-in. So we come downstairs. They're all fighting. Then Fox fucking bites Nash on the arm, draws blood. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. I think they get it from, wasn't there a member of our family was a desperate biter, Roseanne Smith?
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say the name. I was going to say, I think she's proud of it. It starts with an R and ends with an Ozan.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, about like 9, it was 9:38 because I checked my watch. I was like, when is Don getting up? It's been the longest day ever. Then Don comes down full of the joys of spring. He's like, good morning, family. Thanks for the lion. Thanks for this. Literally 10 minutes later, shut up, sit down, stop fighting.
Just to go back, isn't 4 a bit old to start biting? I thought they got into the biting at around 2 or 3.
3.5.
Well, he's going to be 4 in March, isn't he?
April.
That's, oh yeah. Well, no, he's
Well, anyway,
3
yeah,
3/4.
he's not 4
Irrelevant,
yet.
But
But I know, I think it's like it's an expression of his rage, if you know what I mean. He can't speak very well. So I feel like if I don't cook them something, then by 6 o'clock or 5:30 even, they've no energy and I've no energy. Whereas otherwise I can cook. It doesn't have a due date. They're not all around annoying me. Like as in, when's this going to be ready?
oh yeah, oh God.
So I actually have time to make something nice. So today I was thinking I would make them, this may be ambitious, a recipe that I saw on The Guardian, a vegan something bowl, looked delicious with, okay, actually sounds stupid now that I say it.
For your children.
For my children, with kale, ginger. It looked delicious. I was like, I need to start,
Kale?
yeah, I need to start making them some more
They're
delicious.
not going to eat that.
They might. Kale, cabbage, ginger. It looks delicious,
Kale and
genuinely.
cabbage.
I think they're going to like it.
Well, I discovered right after I had Atlas, because you were so nice and made me loads of food from my freezer. Our friend Kim made me some food. My new Instagram friend Adriana made me some food. The most comforting food to me is food I don't have to make myself. I'm not discriminatory within that. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as I didn't have to make it myself.
I
And
think
can
you
just
mean
put it
as
straight in
long
the
as
oven.
it's not ham casserole.
Beatrice.
Yes.
Oh, I will confess I didn't love the ham casserole. Dad made a casserole. And you know what was really galling me as well? That ham was delicious. I would happily have eaten that ham. Not like 6 weeks later.
Chopped into cubes.
No, nothing in cubes. And actually, I wish that's my one problem with chicken tikka masala now. The food of true, authentic Indian cuisine. It's that the chicken is often in cubes. I'd prefer if they just did it in little strips or something. I don't like a cubed anything. It doesn't seem natural. I mean, it's not natural.
I think that's why I hate tofu.
No.
And paneer, like we just said. I hate,
No,
you're
the
right,
texture of them,
cubes.
though, is kind of rubbery.
Ugh.
I like crispy tofu from Yamamori, once again, that I don't have to make myself.
Honestly, I might as well be eating nothing though. I mean, I actually did do a tofu meal for Don a while ago. And I did, it was hours long and it involved straining the tofu.
Oh, yeah.
Squeezing
squashing
it through
the tofu.
through a cheesecloth, etc.
You have
At
to
the
get out
end,
the water.
but then at the end, I was like, might as well have put nothing in. Might as well have put in like 4 invisible ice cubes, tasted of zilch.
But was he happy?
I mean, I don't
Did he think it was tasty?
I don't think he was particularly grateful. I feel like hashtag not all men, but the men that I know, certainly, including my father, including my husband, need a lot of congratulations and commentary on their own food and spend a lot of time like dissecting the flavors. And then when I cook something, it's like, yeah, that was okay.
I don't feel like my husband. I think he just gives himself all the compliments in his head. Like, I don't think he needs. Do you know what I mean? He's
doesn't
like,
need any
another
validation.
wonderful meal. Perfectly cooked meat. I used my thermometer. Like, he's obsessed with that.
He's literally like the human personification of Gaston. Do you know that? That's who you married.
Oh, yeah. Well, he does eat a dozen eggs every morning.
He does.
A dozen egg whites, he does. We had, what did he make? He made pork chops the other day. He used the meat thermometer. And, like, for my sake, I think he even left them in for an extra 4 minutes or something. And they were very pink.
So who am I married to?
Gaston's little friend. What's his
Absolutely
name?
not. Take that back right now. I'm married to the beast. He's really nice inside, but on the outside he seems cranky.
I'm actually married to a cross between Gaston and Belle's dad.
I was just about to say Belle's dad is probably... He looks like Gaston.
But inside he's Belle's dad.
He looks like Gaston, eats 10 eggs like Gaston, then goes marching around like Belle's dad with Gaston. With clothes on.
Delighted with yourself. Delighted with yourself. Okay, listen. Back to the topic at hand. Comfort foods.
Yeah.
I think traditionally a lot of Irish people would think comfort foods with a lot of potato, like mashed potatoes. Shepherd's pie, I think growing up kind of would have been considered a comfort food in our family, but I've never been a big shepherd's pie fan.
I like a
don't
good
like-
shepherd's. I love lasagna.
Oh my God, I
Delicious.
love lasagna.
But
I love pasta.
but these would not be my comfort foods.
Oh, what are your comfort foods?
My comfort foods would be rice pudding. Like when I am feeling bad.
I like to cook myself some rice pudding,
Oh,
Bluey and bingo.
oh my God, Nan. When I am feeling down the dumps, or when I'm feeling stressed, or when I just need a big food hug, it sounds disgusting.
You sound exactly like Cooking with Nadia.
Oh my
She
God, I've
says
never
stuff like
watched
that
it.
all the time. Mom and Dad and I watch a lot of it.
Well, they
while
loved
were
it. They criticized it, but they loved it. I think that was part of the pleasure.
They loved and hated it. I think
It was a
towards the end of their stay, Nadia had become Dad's new Greta.
It was
Just
a
like
bit. Oh, for God's
the
sake.
woman he doesn't know who he likes to give out about.
Anyway, back to me. Thanks.
Sorry.
I love a delicious rice pudding with sultanas. Delicious. Baked in the oven. Warm and comforting. Not too sweet. That was all I ate during pregnancy number 1.
Very nice.
Pregnancy number 2. Lots of mashed potatoes.
Why has this become now what you ate during pregnancy?
I don't know,
Because you
'cause that's
needed
when-
comfort.
That was when I was just so exhausted
Oh, yeah.
and like couldn't summon up the energy, and like everything was making me feel sick, but they were the stalwarts now. Delicious. But even now, I could still any day. What the hell is happening? They're just after I made them tidy up their bedroom. They're now rolling. They're undoing it all. They're up there going, "Ha ha, she's gone." I could eat rice pudding every day instead of dinner and feel delighted.
So could I probably, yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah. That rice pudding in the oven is particularly, what's it called? Queen of Pudding. Delia Smith's Queen of Pudding, isn't that it?
Aunt Eliza's pudding.
Oh.
Well,
Is it Delia Smith though?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And actually, it was very hard to find that cookbook, How to Cook Delia Smith. I bought it online for something like $80 when I was pregnant because I
For
couldn't
that
find it anywhere.
particular
Yeah,
recipe.
couldn't find the recipe online either. And might be there now. But anyway, it's a good cookbook.
That was more than a decade ago
Delia's a classic.
when you were
No,
looking for
actually,
that.
I only bought it here. So it must have been like during Chance's, the pregnancy with Chance's pregnancy. Chance hasn't actually been pregnant. But I thought this was all interesting because what the hell are they doing upstairs? Seriously.
The mind boggles.
I think they're literally standing right above us. Like that's not even their bedroom.
Rolling something.
Something back and forth out of spite, rolling their spite back and forth. Anyway, I thought it was interesting when you had a bad meal, this week and you were depressed. And then you had another bad meal, which I can't remember what that one was it?
I think it was the Chipotle.
No. Oh, no. Yeah, it was something else that Brandon made. No offense, Brandon. And you were
You know what it was? It's one of those, he loves to make a very moist chicken thigh. And chicken thighs have too much fat and like skin for them to be moist. You know what I mean? They need to be either like crispy or like shredded. No. He loves producing like little great chicken thighs. And then they're oozing. Oh no.
Oh,
Anyway, so go on. When I had 2 bad meals and then what did I do? I went for a run.
puffed up with liquid. Do you know what? I thought that this week when I came home from work and I had a relatively taxing day, and I had in the car, I was like, maybe I'm turning into a better person. In the car, briefly for 1 second, I thought to myself, maybe I'll go home and do some exercise. And then I immediately got home and opened a bottle of wine. But the thought actually
was there.
It was there for the first time ever. So I'm like, maybe the thought will
Maybe
be there.
in 6 years' time, you'll actually go for the.
Maybe I'll actually act on the thought.
do the row.
I thought about it.
Anyway, sorry. Get back to.
Anyway, so then I
Like
thought it was
bad meals.
interesting when I texted and said, hey, Rosemary, I'm so magnanimous. I said, why don't I treat you to something to make you feel better? A replacement meal. And you were like, no, I'm stuffed on the hideous food.
Sorry, I
'Cause
didn't say
absolutely,
no.
I ate
It's
such
just-
a large
I want to
amount of
clarify.
it.
No, I did not say stuffed. What I said was, sadly, I've eaten too much ham casserole to be able to eat an entire Indian meal. That was it. I didn't say I was stuffed. I just said I ate too much ham casserole, which I've severely regretted.
Anyway, I was interested in the fact that your choice of a comfort meal was a McDonald's. I was like, does it just make you feel better?
McDonald's chips, if they're hot and salty, yes, do make me feel better. I eat a lot of McDonald's chips. I ate a lot of McDonald's chips in the first couple of months of my pregnancy, actually, when I was feeling sick, and I was like, just wanted something crispy and salty and starchy. And I've kept up that habit. That's a habit that I've kept in my life since then. But also the thing about McDonald's is, I mean, maybe that's just me, but I can eat a large McDonald's meal and not feel even remotely full. So I feel like McDonald's is a good choice for if you're not super hungry.
If you're on a diet, it's like the time Julie told me that Twix was great if you're on Weight Watchers, because it was only 1 point. And then we realised after we had eaten a double Twix every lunch, each for about 3 months and lost no weight, then we realised it was actually supposed to be 1 stick of a mini Twix, like the mini one that's about like half an inch long.
The fun size. Size. Who called them fun size? Why? What's fun about it? About depriving yourself of the whole Twix?
It's fun because it's fun having anything when you're really good, like when you're really disciplined. This is so much fun. This is so much fun because the rest of my life is not that much fun. And this mini half-inch of heaven
just leeches the joy out of your life.
So much fun.
Oh,
you know what? It's true. I mean, who wants to eat 2 full sticks of Twix? By the end, you're so bloated and full.
Oh, fuck off.
That's it. Anyway, but you know what? I think some of what's great about those things is that the nostalgic aspect of them, right? And I read today, which I mean, I think we all know, but there was an article in my new subscription, the Financial Times. There was an article about what people are looking for and the trends that are happening at the moment. And one of the big ones is obviously nostalgia, right? Because in times when people are afraid or, fearful or depressed or whatever, they look for reassurance and kind of that warmth and comfort of times when they were happier and less stressed out, basically. So everybody's looking back to, the 80s and the 90s, which would explain the resurgence of all those movies when we were growing up, like The Craft and, everybody's that whole 90s resurgence. Anyway, so I was thinking, is this to do with the fact that Mom made these? No, because Mom made lots of food that I hated. Is it the fact that...
What food did Mom make that you hated?
Well, I mean, it's a bit like you reminded me of it today when you said, I think I read your Substack and it said we had pork and vegetables for dinner and not a food that I love. But as I reminded William, we all have dinners we don't love sometimes. And I was like, do we? Do I also have dinners I don't love?
But it's different, isn't it? Because the kids will have had dinner when you get home and you just make dinner for yourself. So you're not going to make something for yourself that you don't like.
No, but I mean, because I'm the parent, do I ever have food that I don't like because I'm now in charge of it?
Oh, I definitely have food that I don't like.
Because you order it and you don't cook it. And Brandon cooks.
Sometimes I cook it. The other night I made... Actually, speaking of comfort food, I bought a cookbook based on a recommendation from a listener. Go on.
I was going to say, but do you ever cook? I was back on that... You made a statement that said...
Do I ever cook meals that I don't like?
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, but by accident.
Oh.
I think it's going to be delicious. And then I'm like, this isn't delicious and I have to eat it anyway. But I bought a book, Roasting Tin Around the World by Rukmini Iyer, on the recommendation of a listener. Do you remember when I was asking does anybody have a cookbook that's like actually straightforward and quick? Because unlike Jamie Liar Oliver, who's like 30 minutes
or
once everything's prepared.
Or ottolenghi. Every time I go, this looks delicious. And I'm like, I haven't got one of these ingredients.
Oh my God, I looked at the Brother... I didn't buy it, but I looked at the Brother Hubbard cookbook once because I was obsessed with their walnut
Did you not
scrolls.
buy that to support them?
I should have bought it, actually.
Absolutely.
But listen, they don't need the support. Now they have about 3 cafes. They're flying it.
I'm sure they still need the support. It's been locked down.
I ate enough walnut scrolls to support them for years. Anyway, and I looked at their cookbook and the walnut scrolls take something like 48 hours. I was like, no, I'll just buy them, thanks.
Why don't you get Dad to make them? He loves cooking bread for 57 hours.
Maybe I'll buy him the cookbook.
That's a great idea.
Then mark the page.
There's 2 starters in there that I'm supposed to be making sourdough pizza dough with or something.
Yeah, I've got my starter in the fridge. Anyway, so I bought this Roasting Tin Around the World and then I did a very like my friend Claire on it and I quote unquote made one of the recipes without any of the ingredients basically. So I was like, oh, that's like potatoes and chicken and I have potatoes and I have chicken but nothing else. So I'll do that and I'll add some carrots and I'll add some this and that. So I just did basically the premise of it is that you just need one roasting tin for all the...
I think we got that, yeah.
Well, just in case you didn't. So I put potatoes on the bottom and carrots and some garlic cloves. I got these garlic cloves recently that are honestly the size of an egg. It's obscene. Anyway, and whole garlic cloves and carrots and chicken on top and some lemon things. And it took way longer than it said it was going to take. The carrots were still very crunchy, as the boys told me several times. Wherever the lemon wedges had been up against were practically inedible. The acidity of those potatoes was off the charts. And I also mistakenly ate an entire one of the garlic cloves. I thought it was a potato and regretted that as well. So
it
just was
Seductionville in your house.
I know, it was not the best. Maybe that's why I've been very light burpy this week. Yeah, but that was disappointing. But the book does have some very nice recipes that I have marked. I've put a la Claire McCabe, I've ripped pieces of envelope and stuffed them in various pages. Like as little bookmarks, but there's one that's like lamb meatballs. And then you know what I hate by cookbook authors when they're like, my kids love this. And you're like, do they really? Do
Oh,
your
they
kids not
probably
just
do.
love chicken
No, they
nuggets like
probably do.
everyone else's kids?
Well, I bought a beautiful book called Pasta. Is it called Pasta? I can't remember what it's called, actually.
You sounded so authoritative. I bought a beautiful book called.
Is it called? I think it's called
I think it might be called Pasta.
Le Bet.
I don't think it's.
I think it's
Le
called
Pet.
Pasta.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't remember what it's called. You can put it in the show notes. Anyway, everything looks absolutely scrumptious. I made the ragu because I was like, this will be delicious. This will remind me now of living in Italy and going to those amazing little mom and pop restaurants at 11 p.m. at night time. We used to go in and have the gramigna con salsiccia and then drink copious bottles of wine.
Gramigna con salsiccia?
Like it's a type of pasta, gramigna
Oh, is
pasta.
it like the really little rolled up little snails?
Little rolled up squiggly things.
Oh, yeah.
And
Nice.
and like sausage ragu. So I was like, this looks very similar. So I went out to the supermarket. They didn't have all the ingredients. So I went to the other supermarket. Like it's 3 different types of meat. My nightmare, but I'm willing to try anything for a bit of nostalgic reverence. Then got home, realized it didn't have all the ingredients, didn't have the white wine, had drunk it the night before. Something else I was missing. So I'm like, you know what? It's mom and dad's last week. I'll go out and get this stuff. Like this is a lot of effort for this
This is
ragu.
a lot of effort. 3 supermarket trips now.
Yeah, across spanning 2 days and like
Jesus.
self-sabotage in the middle of it all, like very annoying. Also went out, bought really amazing pasta, which didn't end up being really amazing.
Oh.
Called Spoonie or something like sponges. Went out anyway, got all these ingredients, came back, cooked it. It was 3 hours long of cooking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sit down, mom goes, oh, this is very greasy.
She didn't know. She didn't.
ready to
She
murder.
didn't. What she said was greasy. This is very greasy.
This is very
Because she came over to
greasy.
my house the next day and reported back and said, Beatrice made this ragu and it looked like it was going to be delicious, but it wasn't greasy, but it tasted greasy. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I have no idea what you mean.
But you know what was really annoying about it was while I was cooking it, it just smelled really meaty. Which
that'd
like,
put
not-
you off.
yeah,
Wouldn't really put me off, but
not
put you
good
off.
meat, but it just smelled like pure meat cooking for 3 hours. Like, when you make a bolognese, it smells of meat and then you throw in the tomatoes, and,
and
this and that.
herbs and yeah.
It just smelled incredibly meaty. Now, as I was eating it, and I would say glaring threateningly at our parents, and then, even offering, I was opening the door to a little bit of criticism, but not quite as much as I got. I was like glaring at them, so they should have known better, going, it's not quite as nice as yours, Mom, but like, what do you think? Wouldn't make this again. I was like, you didn't make it, fucker. Sorry. Then the other dish I made out of it was a very simple one. You make pasta. You then reserve a couple of spoons of the pasta. You melt a massive big wad of butter in it and throw in some Parmesan, right? And I was like, how can this go wrong? Sounds delicious with a bit of salt. It was actually very, very flavoursome.
But
Mom put me right off it. She kept like swirling it around her bowl, Oh, it's like, and then she'd go like this. I was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, she's making me feel sick now at this point. She's absolutely turning me off this food,
what did she say?
I was like, what's the problem here? And I was like, do you not like it? Oh yeah, no, it's nice. She's like, it's just the sauce. It's very monosodoglottomy. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I think it's just like, it's the reserved cooking water. So it's a bit starchy. Like it's supposed to, give it some body. Oh, you wouldn't like this a lot now, would you? I was raging. I was thinking of making it the other night, but she's turned me off it now.
So are you going to try anything else from the cookbook? This isn't.
Yeah, I'm going to try lots of other things. But anyway, I was like,
This isn't a good sign.
this could be a future comfort food for me. But every time I eat it now, I'll be thinking of Mom complaining about the texture and I'll be going, yeah, gross, right?
I like a nice homemade carbonara as a comfort food, but again, not made by me because anytime I've tried to make carbonara, I've ended up scrambling the eggs a bit. Or like you even if they don't seem to quite scramble, the parmesan kind of separates and they just end up a bit lumpy.
Ugh.
Like a bit,
Ugh,
not
sounds
perfect.
gross.
I like a nice carbonara in a restaurant.
You know-
Toast.
Classic. Do you know, I actually do like scrambled eggs, except when I hate the smell of eggs, which happens to me on occasion. Just sometimes I come down in the morning, I'm like, do get that egg smell away from me. But the other morning, I got up and Don had made scrambled eggs, and I was like, this looks delicious. Now he's great at making scrambled eggs.
Mhm. He loves the eggs.
Mm-hmm. And that sounds really bad.
No, but he puts love into his cooking. That's the key.
For God's
Tell me.
sake, I know. So anyway, he goes, well, what he actually goes was, he didn't say, would you like some of these? He goes, I guess you'd like some too. And I'm like, Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind. Thanks. Because he had obviously, for some reason, instead of going, you know what, there's 6 of us in this family, he's like, there's 3 of us in this kitchen. Like, not the way to be. Yeah,
eat
eat
it.
it. So anyway, I take some, but I am telling you for a fact, although he denied it, but I have good taste buds. There was Velveeta in that scrambled egg, which is, to anybody who doesn't know, I actually don't know what it is, but it's a weird paste of a cheese that comes in a tinfoil block like Philadelphia cream cheese. And it is
Yeah.
like Kraft, like the easy slices condensed into a block of yuck.
Yeah, it's almost like if cheese melted the way chocolate melted, into like a liquid, it's like a melted thick cheese.
It's truly greasy.
It's
greasy. Anyway, that was mixed
very
into the
greasy,
cheeses,
gross.
into the scrambled eggs. And he denied it, except I am telling you, I got a lump of Velveeta solidified on my tongue and I knew.
Is he still denying it?
He's still denying it. You can ask him later. He's still denying it to me, but he was doing that shifty sideways eye that he does when he's lying, when I catch him. And like, he never backs down. He never admits the truth. So.
Oh, sorry. Can I just tell you, speaking of scrambled eggs, the most comforting of comfort breakfasts, the full Irish in Avoca. Creamy mushrooms, creamy scrambled eggs, a nice big thick Gubeen sausage, some Gubeen bacon and that toasted cheese bread with some relish.
I hate when other people make sausages, rashers.
What?
And scrambled eggs for me. I can't eat other people's scrambled eggs. It's like gravy.
Like you can't eat other people's gravy. Why?
It's absolutely gross.
You can eat Don's scrambled eggs. You just said that.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. No, I don't know what they've put into them. I always feel like they're a little bit runny. I can't. Like,
Sorry, but
are they fully
what's wrong
cooked?
with the sausage in the rasher though?
Sausages, all right, but like, where are they from? Are they good sausages?
Gubeen, County Cork.
Yeah, but like, are they cooked enough? Are they a little bit undercooked? And the rashers, they're not crispy enough. They're greasy.
Okay, well, you like the mushrooms.
The mushrooms are delicious. And that toast sounds okay, but I think I'd prefer regular toast. And a cup of tea. But like, even tea, you need to make your own tea.
No, coffee. You just get coffee and Avoca.
Oh, I don't really like coffee
Such
with
a
breakfast.
weirdo.
Like
Oh
with the
my
breakfast that I'm eating.
God.
Coffee's instead of breakfast.
Sorry, with the breakfast that you're eating.
Yeah. Tea.
So you like coffee with the breakfast you're not eating?
No, I like coffee when I'm not eating breakfast. Coffee is my
Oh.
replacement for breakfast, when I'm on the go. Power.
Okay, Karl Lagerfeld. I just listened to an excellent episode actually of Maintenance Phase, which is like an anti-diet culture podcast I listened to, and they were talking about the Karl Lagerfeld diet. It was very amusing.
What's that? Plastic surgery?
Yeah, and a lot of Diet Coke.
Oh, I do drink a lot of that. I've missed out on the
10 cans a
liposuction.
day.
Oh, I used to drink plenty. My boss, in one of my previous jobs, used to drink at least 10 cans a day.
Was your boss Karl Lagerfeld?
No, but my boss was extremely skinny also.
Well, yeah, was Karl Lagerfeld skinny? Was he very tall?
He was extremely skinny
he
after
was
he had
extremely slim after he lost the 90 pounds in
after
11
he
months
had
and claimed it wasn't weight loss surgery.
massive liposuction, lads.
He did it through diet, Beatrice. He wrote a
He
book
didn't
about
even
it.
say that, did he?
I think he did.
I don't think he did.
Oh, I'll have to listen to the
It's like
episode of the
Sharon
podcast
Stone who
again.
said she never had a facelift, except, never mind, we won't go into this. I heard anecdotally, never mind.
Oh, your contacts in big cosmetic surgery now coming in useful for our investigative cosmetic surgery podcast.
Never mind. You know what? I mean, I actually don't even care. Like, I think it's quite fine if you want to have plastic surgery, go for it. But it makes it very difficult for other people to have a realistic expectation of
Yeah.
what they should look like if you
Yeah.
then deny it.
Yeah, don't lie to the rest of us and be like, I just did it through like healthy eating and exercise, or don't talk about it.
I was about to say, on the other hand, I don't actually think you are obliged to
No, you're
share
not.
what you do with us, but don't lie to us.
Yeah,
if
don't
that's
lie.
the only one. Just
'Cause it
don't
just
lie.
puts so much pressure on everyone else to be like, well, she did it through diet and exercise.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. She did it through weight loss pills and surgery.
Oh, 100%, yeah. But also, like, it was like I wanted to get my hair cut in a shag, which I did. Oh my God, success. The other day, somebody said to me, you know who you remind me of, and I hope this isn't an insult, your new hair looks like Linda Ronstadt. Yes!
Which is exactly what you wanted.
I know, but then I was like, did I actually tell them this, and are they now making fun of me?
Was it Kevin?
A month and a half later. No, it was
Oh,
somebody
well, then
else at
probably
work.
not.
But I was like, yes. But I mean, who knows? Anyway, watch this documentary on Linda Ronstadt with mom and dad, right? Watched the first half, got totally obsessed with the hair, got the haircut, watched the second half. I was like, still don't look like Linda Ronstadt. And then her manager was like, well, this was back when Linda was on all the diet pills. And I was like, damn, that's the part I'm missing to look like her. And the minus 20 years.
Yes, that's the only part.
Excuse me.
Back to the toast. Toast, Kerrygold, toast and
I bet you
Kerrygold
Linda
butter.
Ronstadt did. Oh, Kerrygold butter. I bet you Linda Ronstadt didn't eat toast. And I bet you she did. Bet you she didn't because she was on diet pills. She didn't eat anything. Her heart was jackhammering so hard at her chest. She couldn't even think about eating. She was so anxious. That's
Okay.
true. That's what she said, actually, because of those diet pills.
Right, back to the toast.
Did you know that in Kerrygold, that in America, do you remember a couple of years ago I read that article that said that, I think was it Wisconsin or Vermont? I don't know. Some state in America was like taking Kerrygold to court because their butter was too good they were afraid they were all going to lose their business because their butter was too good.
How can you take somebody to court for their butter being too good?
Well, I can't remember. They were trying to keep them out because I can't remember. I'll find the article later.
Stupid.
That's not quite a factual representation.
Someone's going to take me to court someday because my writing's too good. They're like, you're ruining it for the rest of us.
Oh yeah, that's
Anyway, toasted Kerrygold butter. Also, a nice toasted cheese sandwich in one of those toasted cheese sandwich makers, which really, I got an amazing thing by Morphy Richards for the microwave.
Miko.
It's called a Miko. It's by Morphy Richards. It's this thing you put in the microwave and you put the toast in between these two plates and you put it in the microwave and it turns out like a proper like pub toasted cheese sandwich that's been in the sandwich press, but it's not quite the same as the one in the sandwich press at home because that ends up quite puffy in the middle. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this one ends up quite flat. But I did
Okay.
love a puffy toasted cheese sandwich maker.
Okay, this is not the one I was talking about, but this was 2018. Kerrygold butter facing US lawsuit over grass-fed cow claims. This is probably like, it says, the beloved Irish butter brand is misleading customers into thinking their cows are fed an exclusive grass diet when they also eat grains and soy. I think this is like, anyway, it got dismissed apparently, but this is like the smoked Irish smoked salmon. You know, is it Irish smoked salmon or smoked Irish salmon? It means like Irish smoked means it could just be smoked in Ireland.
Or
The salmon
smoked,
could be from anywhere.
smoked via an Irish method, couldn't it? Like
No, I'm saying
Irish
that's what
smoked.
legally apparently that's what it means.
Or
But, like,
smoked Irish salmon means it was caught in the seas off.
it means it's actually Irish salmon smoked.
I hate smoked salmon.
Ah,
I don't
I
like
hate-
smoked anything actually.
well, I tell you, so it wouldn't be a comfort food.
Oh.
It needs to be very thin though, like laser paper thin.
No, gross.
Can
I
something
just
be
don't like it at
laser
all.
thin? No, it can be cut with the laser to be paper thin.
Yeah.
I would
No.
like to be laser thin.
I don't like smoked salmon. I don't like smoked cheeses either or smoked meats.
Oh God,
don't like the
cheese
taste
is
of
gross.
No. But even when I worked in Sheridan's and they were the high quality smoked cheeses, couldn't
You're
eat them.
such a snob. Why did you buy Brandon the smoker then?
Oh, that's a good question. Because I knew he wanted it.
You know what? That's so selfless.
And
of
sure,
you.
listen, when he smokes the meat, I can just order Taj Mahal.
That is so selfless. You're such a great partner.
I'm the best wife ever.
Oh, that's so great. So all this to say, basically, if I'm not feeling well,
You're having rice pudding.
well, it sounds like I was going to say you could bring me rice pudding, but it sounds like you won't be cooking anything for anybody. So, and nobody makes rice pudding except Taj Mahal, and I don't like the Indian rice pudding. That's different.
Oh, no, I
It's
don't like
very,
that
very
either.
sweet.
And it's very, very sweet and it's served cold. I mean, you know, you can warm it up, but it's still not
It's
the same.
very, very watery as well. You know what I
Yeah.
love about the rice pudding is it has a kind of density to it. It's extremely delicious. I'll put this recipe up now for everybody to enjoy.
It is actually very, very good.
Delicious.
No, now that I have my new roasting tin cookbook, I genuinely am planning on cooking. And I made blondies twice last week.
You did.
So
Can
I
you
do.
look?
I mean, that's not cooking; it's baking. But
Can you see if your roasting tin has a rice pudding recipe for me?
it doesn't? I got the roasting tin around the world, so it's divided by different regions, and then it has one dessert only per region. So it only has about 5 desserts in the whole
Oh.
book, and I've already obviously looked for every dessert.
Well,
I've been left wanting. Been
sounds
found
like
wanting.
I'm not going to be taken care of here. Or potato cakes, also delicious.
Yeah, but
Oh.
the last time I made potato cakes, they weren't nice. I think that's
I'll
just
tell you
me,
what's
though.
very comforting, honestly. And, you know, I'm trying to get out of this, like I said, this year. But you know what? My ultimate comfort food. Food. It's just going to have to be wine. Tea.
Wine is not a food. Tea is not a food. They're beverages. We could do a whole episode on comfort beverages, and it would just be wine.
Tea. Tea is very
Tea is very
comforting.
comforting.
Coffee's not comforting, but tea is extremely comforting.
No, but why isn't coffee comforting?
It has a harder taste.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Tea is just, and it's very Moorish. You can drink all the cups of tea. At a certain point, like if you've had enough coffee now, you're starting to feel a little bit sick.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Tea
A
never.
bit jittery.
Tea is just always, you know, it's like that letter to your mom in that Brooklyn book. You know,
That Brooklyn book in Brooklyn. I mean,
in the book Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's like all those letters that went back and forth, all of them were accompanied by somebody drinking a cup of tea.
I would like to point out that we had friends over the weekend before last. I think just came over because they hadn't seen the house, and you know they came over for a chat. Didn't have a single beverage, bitch. I found it very odd. I was like, would you like a cup of tea? No, we're fine. Would you like a glass of water? Would you like this? And I was like, what? And I felt like Mrs. Doyle, like, go on. You'll have something.
Wet your whistle on something.
I know, Beatrice.
What is your whistle? Is your whistle in your mouth? Because I'm now like,
It's
that's
definitely
weird.
not your mouth. Is your whistle's your mouth? Yours isn't a whistle. It's more like a, I don't know.
Okay, it's really funny how mean you're being right now.
Oh. Anyway, you sure you'd always have a cup of tea? Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd never say no to a cup of tea.
I
really.
just can't imagine. Like, you know what? I need to get better just being like, no, sorry, thanks. That's not what suits me right now. Like the fact that even if there was no tea, it was like, would you like a weird drink of cranberry tofu blend? I'd be like, of course I will, because I'm in your house and I'm being polite.
I feel attacked now because I drank that raspberry seltzer water at our friend's house last week. Which in hindsight, I shouldn't. Why didn't I just have a glass of water? I didn't really want that raspberry seltzer water. It was grand, like.
Oh my God, you were like a maniac now that I think about it.
like a
Yeah, no,
maniac.
you're not going to relate to this
No,
because I'm
excuse
just
me.
going to be easy and say no matter what the drink is, I'll have whatever
What
you're
happened
serving was
was-
my point. You meanwhile went through 17 different options in their fridge.
What
You
happened
perused
was...
them, and you should have seen the look on your face as you were as you were evaluating each one of the offerings laid out before you, like
raspberry
some kind
seltzer
of
water, Beatrice.
like some kind of sultan of.
What actually happened was I arrived over and they said, what would you like to drink? We have everything. And I said, oh, great. I'll have some kind of Coke, like Diet Coke.
No, that's not what you said.
Oh, God.
You said, do you have Coke products? I was like, who is this person? Do you have Coke products? But the thing is, they didn't bat an eye.
No,
Fair
because
play
in
to
America, you
No.
go to a restaurant and you say, do you have Coke products or
No.
Pepsi products?
them. No, because they were. No, you don't.
I do.
Yeah, you do because you're such a weirdo, such a blow in. They're all like, you can tell this
I
one's
fucking
foreign.
hate Pepsi.
No, you'll say, would you like, I'll have a Coke, please. And they say, oh, we only have Pepsi products. You don't say, do you have Coke products? Literally, I've never
I
heard an
say, do
American
you
say
have Coke
that.
or Pepsi products? And then when they tell me the answer, I'll either say, I'll have a Diet Coke or I'll have a Diet Mountain Dew.
Oh, you see, here's where the problem happened. You thought you were in a restaurant, but actually you were in our friend's house.
No, I thought I was in our friend's house and I thought they had all drinks because they'd said to me, we have everything.
Getting very high pitched there.
Shut up.
Anyway, and then when they said, no, sorry, we don't, you went, do you have any sparkling water? And they came up with a beautiful can of Perrier, which I have right in front of me here. And you went, oh, do you perchance have San
I didn't
Pellegrino?
say
Yes,
no,
you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I
no.
said,
I said, would you not drink the Perrier?
and
Oh,
I said,
and you
no,
said,
I only like some.
You said, I only like San Pellegrino. I like my water bubbled at the source. Literally, I couldn't believe when you said that. And
I
then
I absolutely did not say that. Also, this Perrier says source on it. So you're defaming Perrier by implying that
Source
it's not bubbled
Perrier.
at the source.
let's see what it says. It just says source Perrier, which actually doesn't. Water captured at the source, but not bubbled at the source, is what I said. Anyway, this actually, fizzy water could be my comfort
Oh,
food.
I don't think fizzy water is very comforting.
Makes me feel happy.
I don't find it very comforting. Not like a warm hug. Cup of tea. It's the only job, really.
Tea.
Yeah, on that very Irish note, thank you all so much for listening to Not Without My Sister. I'm sorry that Beatrice made up all that shit about me and the San Pellegrino.
I did not.
I like to think that our podcast is like a beacon of truth and factual accuracy, but she just keeps derailing it with these lies. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch us next week.
I think everybody knows what the truth is. I think everybody knows. Oh, please also, if you have an opportunity, please don't forget to send us 5-star review, rating, and review us. Whatever the
Send
expression
us
is.
a
Yes.
5-star review.
To please rate
Wherever
and
you're
review
listening to this
us.
podcast, whether it's Stitcher, iTunes, you can also now leave a rating on Spotify. Please give us a rating. 5 stars only. Well, 5 stars would be preferable.
Oh, please 5 stars. If you only want to give us less, please just jot that down in your notebook and maybe don't go online for that purpose.
And if you want to point out which of us you like better, don't bother.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for listening.
Not Without My Sister is produced by Liam Garrity, sound and original music by Don Kirkland, and our original illustration is by Lindsay Nielsen.
Not Without My Sister is a member of The Warren, the home of great Irish podcasts. As is my podcast, Meet Your Maker. You'll find more great shows at thewarren.ie.